Hello there, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great day today. So, I have something interesting that I really would like to discuss today. So, I am asking for help from the railroad and railroad preservation community. I know that doing an open letter is probably not the best way to go about this, but I've done pretty much everything that I could up to this point. Many throughout the local railroad and railroad preservation community throughout New England are aware of my story, not only from my experience at the Monticello Railway Museum, but also from my New Hampshire Chronicle interview. Since my New Hampshire Chronicle interview and my video at the Monticello Railway Museum, I've developed a pretty good relationship with the railroad and railroad preservation community that I never thought was possible. And I thank God for that. I'd never been a part of a community where I felt more comfortable. Despite that, it doesn't mean that everything is perfect. For so long, I've always wanted the educational opportunity to learn and witness firsthand what goes into preserving and restoring a vintage locomotive. But I've always struggled to find such opportunities. Growing up as a child, I've always loved F units. I remember when I was in first or second grade, my father introduced me to the movie Silver Streak with Gene Wilder, out of all films to introduce to someone at that age. But that film is what made me develop a passion for F units. In the past, in what limited capacity that I could, I made an impassioned effort to work with the city of Gorham to start a restoration effort for Boston and Maine 4265. But unfortunately, I've been unable to make any contact with the city. I even at one point was in contact with the owner of the company that owned Canadian Pacific 4070 that was used in Silver Streak. But at the time, the owner basically said that a sale for the unit was pending. And from my last contact with him, he told me that he sadly, sold the unit. Right now, I am asking for help from the railroad and railroad preservation community. I'm figuring out a way to get in contact with Canadian Pacific Kansas City, I think, regarding Bangor and Aroostook 502, which is an EMD F3 that was built in 1947. I love F3 very much. It's a product of the 1940s, a time period that I love very much for the way how American life was back then. Preserving that time period is something that is very important to me, and it's a shame that there aren't more F3s around today. I am deeply interested in obtaining 502 from Canadian Pacific Kansas City because it would provide me the educational opportunity that I've always sought for a long time. Also, its connection to the 1940s, my passion for F units, and its New England connection. I do have a contact who is a railroad mechanic and owns some valuable railroad equipment whom I built a pretty strong connection with. He has a lot of knowledge and experience with restoring vintage railroad equipment. I've seen his work, and it's amazing what he has been able to accomplish. He does it because it's a passion of his. My contact right now is looking at acquiring an F unit for his own operation. There might be some exciting developments about that in the near future that I will upload, a future video about. However, this is about trying to obtain Bangor and Aroostook 502. My contact who is out of Pennsylvania does have the resources to house, restore, and maintain the unit. To my knowledge, Canadian Pacific received the 502 when they bought out the Central Maine and Quebec Railroad, and it has since been shipped out to CPKC headquarters in Calgary. From what I've gathered, there are currently no future plans for the locomotive. One of the things that I find great about the 502 is the fact she is in original and unrebuilt state. And it would really be nice to see what 502 looks like now. I would not make this impassioned plea if I didn't have the resources to restore and maintain Bangor and Aroostook 502. Having a chance to own a piece of railroad history, especially an F unit where I can, visit on a frequent basis and can document the process of restoration and maintenance is something that I've always wanted to do. I really do have the utmost trust in my contact. I strongly believe that preserving American railroad history starts with younger individuals like myself, and it would mean a great deal to me to have that opportunity. Now, I am kindly asking for that chance from Canadian Pacific Kansas City, as this is something that I've always wanted for a very long time. I understand that any locomotive is a huge responsibility and undertaking, and if Canadian Pacific would be open to donating the unit, in return I would be happy to document the restoration efforts as much as I am possibly able to. I really do want to have an educational opportunity, and I would greatly appreciate any support with finding ways to get in contact with Canadian Pacific Kansas City regarding 502. I give my word that if requested, I will keep any contact confidential. I understand that doing an open letter is unusual, but if there was any easier way to inquire about Bangor and Aroostook 502, trust me, I definitely would not have taken this route. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day, and God bless.